Hello everyone and welcome to Sorare Thursday Club episode 18. I'm your host, Swiss Mafia, joined by my usual sidekicks, the Sorare Mamba and Dornado. How are we, chaps?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Sante, everyone. Nice to be back.
Sante?
Yeah, I'm good too. I'd just like to start by saying, Sorare Mamba, what an intro. That video is top notch, mate.
Got skills.
Top-notch.
Well, you know, I enjoy making videos of us guys. That's all I've got to say. I was trying to think of something deep and meaningful to put out there, but then, yeah, just like pissing about on editors and making fun pictures and videos. But I'm going to get some sick little clips of us to add into it when you least expect it, because the current set of videos I have of us three probably not suitable for public consumption. So, yeah, we'll have to work on some new material there.
Damn right.
So, we are here today because we've received another gallery restructure SOS. And this time it's come from Kherb88, who we all know, actually. So Kherb88, who joined the platform last year, 2022, back in May time. And as we'll get into it later on in the pod, his gallery's not in the best state. And he's kind of sent out, to say the least, and he sent out a little bit of an SOS because he's thinking about, should he just pull the trigger and sell up right now and take the hit, or is it time to actually sort his shit out and actually start getting some out of his gallery?
He's invested in his gallery as if his favourite sport is rugby, which it is.
Maybe that's the problem. So anyway, before we do that, we are going to start with a little warm-up, because like all good teams, a warm-up is key, especially if your team is full of old men like us. So, boys,
Must stretch.
I've got a little bonus round, a little warm-up for us called the Quickfire 10 in 10. Right?
Oh!
Some rules to this. One-word answers only. There's 10 questions I'm going to ask you, and you got 10 seconds max to answer them. Right?
Are we against each other, or are you just like asking us one by one?
Just one by one. This is all about opinions, just to get going. So if we start, I'll start with a question. Then John, give me the first answer. Then Ricky, follow John. And then I'll give you my answer as well. And then I'll ask the next question. Sound good?
So no shortlist. No shortlist.
No shortlist. No more. Hence the one word. It's supposed to be a warm-up. All right?
Stop clipping my wings.
So, should have had a little bit of intro music, really, shouldn't I? John, starting with you. Saudi League, like it or not?
Like.
Rick?
Love.
Dislike. Will it be added?
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Which big name is off there next?
Firmino?
Oh, I think he's already gone. Has he not been announced?
Is it official? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Rick?
Brozovic.
He's there already.
It's not been announced, is it?
He's definitely not all there already.
Oh, isn't he? All right. Fine. I'm going to go De Gea.
Well, that's 2 words, mate. That's 2 words.
I'm going to go De Gea. Right. Latest game week in one word.
Pants.
Mediocre.
Shithouse. Biggest transfer in your gallery this summer window.
Can I just ask a supplementary question here? Are you saying biggest player I've brought into my gallery, or biggest transfer?
Yeah. They could be in or out. In or out.
Oh, Christ. I'm gonna go for Bardi, Francesco Bardi.
Bardi, nice. Rick?
The biggest player I've bought in is the
biggest transfer, in or out?
Largest waistline.
It's got to be one of us.
I would like to perhaps show you after this. There's been some interesting developments at the Richmond Supermambas today.
Nice.
Oh,
like that.
I'm actually really excited about this now.
Rules just for that little teaser. So it better be good.
Oh, it is.
I like this. I like this a lot. I'm going for Pickford in mine. Which card do you want the most?
Is it quick? Is this
Steer away from the obvious, like Mbappe. So who do you want the most for your gallery? Enhance your gallery.
I've always really wanted a foreign Verts. I know that's kind of a little bit of a big name player as well, but like I've got a Cherky and I just think Verts is fucking good.
Like it, mate. Like it. John, you're doing with the warm up like you do when we actually play the football match where you hog the ball. One word, please, mate.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Rick.
Mudryk.
I'm going Bruno. Favorite card in your gallery at the moment?
Zelarayan.
I don't think it's fair to give a one-word answer for that. His full title, so it's the Prince of the MLS, Jackson Ewell.
Fair. Xhaka. Worst bit about Sorare.
Asian DMPs.
Vic?
Yeah, I was just going to say DMP or Dump, if that doesn't count as one word. Dump.
FOMO.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. FOMO is a good one. Game week FOMO.
Did you just ask a question then?
Yeah, best bit about Sorare.
Oh, sorry. Best bit about Sorare. I can't keep this to one word. So it's when you've got 4 players that have done really well and you've got that one player left and the anticipation of that last game.
Drama.
The drama. There you go, yeah.
I need 3 words for this. The best thing about Sorare is the Sorare Thursday Club. Self-promotion.
You.
Rick wins.
Ledinho. Love that guy.
Led. Favorite. So funny enough, final question for 10 and 10. Favorite content creator on Sorare at present, outside the obvious SGC.
I don't watch a lot, Royal Ivy, but he's definitely up there.
I was going to put him in as well, as he's part of the FC Sorare. But as you've already given him a shout, I'm going to go for Laird, top bloke.
Yeah, I think I'm Laird as well.
Team Laird. And he's in the Sorare Burger Club, like me, you know. Big up the
kind
burger.
of our age demographic as well. You won't appreciate me saying that.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's your warm up done. We nearly did it in one word. Don't know why I put that in there, but I felt the need to do that.
I enjoyed that, mate. That was good.
Yeah. Well, there you go. A treat for the boys. So, moving on, as always, before we get to the main section, we start with a little ramble. So if anyone's new to the pod, doesn't know what the ramble is, basically, we just ramble. And that is about whatever hot topic or front of mind thing has happened this week. Sometimes it's a general letting off steam, but most of the time it's around updates or big things that happened. So we got a few topics on this one. If I'll give us the topics, you boys give us your thoughts. So Soraries or however you want to say it, special edition cards. Have you boys seen them? What are you thinking about them at present?
After you, Rick, because I went first with all the questions.
And maybe get one up on screen if you got one at all, Rick. Or I'll chuck one on if not.
Well, Soraries, as you know, I love a special edition card. I love collecting them. I've got one of every special edition that's sort of been created, apart from those really nice sunset ones because they're really expensive. Main gripe with these ones is I think the design is terrible. You know, they barely stand out from the cards that have been released this season. They look very much like a K-League, J-League cards. They've got that tiny little Sorare badge at the bottom, but really, I don't think they stand out. It's one of the worst designs I've seen for a special edition. You do get a collector's bonus, which is cool for people that are collecting. But I did have a look through the cards. And there was a few people on my limited list, even though I have no more yellows as my tagline. that I wanted, because I run a Bayern stack and a Man United stack, and I was missing the best player on each of those teams, and I run a bit of a Man City stack as well, because I've won a Ruben Diaz and a Rodri, and I have a Kanji on your recommendation. They usually form a nucleus team, so I said, well, as Kimmich, Bruno, and KDB are all options, it would make sense for me to purchase one of them, because I'm already looking for them anyway, so I may as well get a special edition one. And to be fair, the prices are not like that much over what the normal editions were anyway. So I had a look and I put some bids in, and I will show you who we won right now. Here we go. And I won all 3.
Holy shit.
Oh, shit, son. Wow.
So I really wanted to get Kimmich in to upgrade my Bayern stack, because I had Goretzka, who was just not doing it. So I got him in. I'm actually reasonably pleased with that price for him at 0.168. I think the previous ones had all been higher. So they'd gone up to about 280, 290, even like the current editions that weren't Sorare. So I was kind of, very happy with that. Bruno as well. I run the Man United stack, and not having Bruno in a Man United stack is a massive hamstring, right? You need him. I have Rashford, I have Casemiro, I have Martinez at the back, or Varane, De Gea, and I needed Bruno. So the Sorare seemed like, right, Sorares having a breakdown. It's been a temperamental this evening. So it seemed like I had to get him. But see, I got him for 0.168. The previous one was 0.193, 0.182. Even his typical season card was £5 higher than I paid. But I felt that actually, if I'm going to get a special edition card for less than his regular season card, then I can convince myself that it's a good deal. So
that is a good deal.
We've ended up with all 3. KDB slots in nicely.
Wow.
That does mean I have the complete Man United and Bayern stack I want now, so I'm excited for next season. Maybe I have to get a couple of other cards to boost those XPs up as much as I can. But Kevin De Bruyne will slot in with my other 3 players, so maybe I need an Edison and maybe a Haaland. So I get
maybe
3 big stacks.
The Man United.
Oh yeah, I really hope he goes. Side plot. But yeah. So Soraries, don't really like design. I do like special edition collectors cards, and I do like that I've upgraded my stack with them.
Mate.
So yeah.
Bow down. I bow down to the whale.
Day. And for the last time, no more yellows.
I love how we entered that, mate, with what do we think of them? Don't really like them. Just bought 3 big players, though.
But I don't know about you, Jesse, as well, but I actually genuinely had no idea that you'd done that. So
no, not at all. Which is why when I asked it, it was like I almost ruined the surprise.
Yeah, well, I got to say, Rick, I'm extremely impressed and also very jealous. And also, did it happen to be a payday today, by any chance?
It did. Well, I've actually sold off nearly my entire MLB gallery. Is what I've been doing over the last week.
You did say,
just because I can't have any interest in it, and I've missed 2 game weeks and put it in, so I sold that all off.
How much did you get for that out of interest? Like roughly, would you say?
Oh, I had about 0.3 in there or something like that.
Well, so you pretty much covered your MLB, which you weren't interested in, with 3 absolute perling cards.
Yeah, I'm excited, and
that's quality, absolutely quality.
I do not like the design, and I don't think they look very special, but it made perfect SO5 sense at this point to upgrade, get the cards that I wanted now while they're special editions, and at the same price I would have paid for a normal card anyway. We're ready to go next season. Impressive. We're ready to go.
I mean, my views on the cards are, I like the design if it was just a design of a normal card, like they look reasonably nice for just a normal Sorare card, right? But they're not special enough or different enough to the normal cards. I think that's the issue. I mean, it kind of looks nice with the sort of honeycomb effect in the background, but they do look too similar to just the normal. I think the main thing is that they are specialist in cards, whatever they design. So it means you get those collection bonus points, which are big for people like me and Ricky that love collecting shit. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you I bought someone because I haven't, because I've just found out Aaron Moyes. Biggest news is I found out Aaron Moyes retired at 32, and I've got 2 of his cards. So,
What's he playing at?
I don't know. But yeah, no, I think they're okay. But I'm very excited for Ricky's teams next year now. That's for sure.
Yeah, but did you not think as well? Like, I know they've got that tiny little badge on the bottom that says Soraries, but you don't really notice it. And they all won like an award, didn't they, for like whatever the reason that they won that, you know, under 23 best player in the league, up and coming, or whatever they were, whatever the categories were. It'd be cool if that was on there as well for somewhere. Like, the reason that they're an award winner, like Osherman was like best player in the league, wasn't he? But he didn't win under 23, and it'd be nice to have it on there.
You never know, there might be some extra utility one day where you can actually enter only those types of cards in comps.
Like a trophy sort of thing behind or something, like a yeah.
But they've got the ability. Like, these were cool. These Sunrise editions, I really like those. That you can definitely see that they are a special edition. Or Stand for Peace was, you know, they stood out. You knew what, that type of thing. I like when they go a bit all out with this with the card design. That's what I would like to see. I love special editions. I think they should do more, but I do think they should be a bit more standout.
It's so subtle that you can't notice.
Yeah.
But no, that's I can't believe you bought a Kimmich.
Oh my god, I know. Yeah, I mean, I think for the price you paid though, given you haven't paid more than the card would be anyway, like, because I like the collectibles, but not enough to spend the extra money. But if you're getting a deal like that, then all day long, because it's a special edition card. It's a great deal.
It did show me the prices have gone back up a little bit, because I think Kimmich was down at about 0.1 at one point, and now he's like, whereas his regular season one was trading at like 1.17. So there's been a nice little rise now. Bruno's definitely gone up as well.
I've been chasing rare Euros all week, and they're definitely going up, probably for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Those 3 will all be at the Euros, won't they? That's for sure. Next year.
So, cool. Yeah. Anyway, next spot on our ramble before we get too much into Soraries' hole. The green online button, which I'll show you now quickly on screen what we mean by that. So I've been chasing Casemiro all week. The green online button.
You won't catch him, mate. He's got a great engine. You'll never catch up with him.
Wait, that's tragic. I like it. So bottom left-hand corner, by your name, you can now see it. Hover over it, and you can now see if someone's online, or it's highlighted green, which is even easier. Subtle changes, but like makes a huge difference. So like, I'm pretty heavy. When I say pretty, I'm very heavy on trading, and there's nothing more annoying than going online trying to work out who to trade with and sending offers and sitting there and waiting, and then if you got ETH, you're locking your ETH up and you can't use it in another trade. So I've found this week, or last couple since they put it in, it's so much easier to trade, and you get quick responses. Now they've even got, if you do try and trade with them, it also tells you how quickly they respond as well, typically. So again, this guy responds within 12 hours typically. So you can kind of filter out or put your initial offers to those that are quicker, and on way towards your cards in a more efficient way. So I flipping love it. What do you reckon, boys?
I can go then. I think it's not bad. It's a nice little touch. I don't think it really impacts anything that much, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a nice little upgrade. The only time I can see it impacting for me is I'm one of those stupid people that gets to within the last hour of the game week, decides he wants to do his team, and then decides he can get one more team out if he just gets another little cheeky yellow in. So then I just start hunting down quickly, trying to spam an over-expensive player in. So yeah, if there's a few of the same player around the same price, it probably would make sense if I can quickly click on their profile and see if they're online, and they're the one that most likely to answer me. So yeah, I can see it in like a last-minute desperation use. But apart from that, I'm not really that desperate for someone to reply to me instantly that I need that. You could probably go and chat to them on Discord, send them a Discord message if you're that desperate, but I tend to ignore Discord as well. But you can also.
What you're saying is you're not as desperate as me, yeah?
Well, I am towards a deadline, but I'm so desperate at that point that it doesn't really matter what colour dot they have. I'm probably just going to overpay for the player anyway. And yeah, the little timer, how long it takes them to reply, is sort of like a casual badge of honor, isn't it? Whether you're good at replying or not. I see yours is 12 hours, Jesse. So
No messing with me, mate.
Is it where I can see my own? Where does it say?
I can tell you yours right now if you'd like.
Go on, then. I want to know.
Let's have a little reveal on stream. You typically answers in 1 hour or less because you're an absolute massive keener.
Jesus Christ.
That sounds
Get
about
off that phone, mate.
That sounds about right.
Oh, hi, friends. Hi, friends. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bye, friends.
I mean, yeah, I'm much the same as you, Rick, to be honest. If I do need to have a last minute panic buy, then having a green little button kind of helps filter out a few of the people that won't necessarily respond. But it doesn't really affect me too much, but it definitely doesn't like negate anything in the game. It's only a good thing. So one thing I was going to ask, is it either green or nothing, or is it like orange for like I was available an hour ago, or
green or nothing?
Green or nothing. It's not like Skype where you not Skype, sorry. It's not like Teams where you can.
It's got red with a line through if you're in a meeting.
Yeah.
No ASL. Right, perfect. So that's a big thumbs up from us. Next one is a thumbs down from me for sure. Squad list or squad option has gone from the main screen, which is really freaking painful. So it used to be up here. Have they given a reason why they removed it? I haven't seen it. If so,
I think they've mentioned about making it. I think there's something in the pipeline where they're going to make it a bit of a different way to get to them. I don't think it's quite fully updated yet. I know they've got a list now, haven't they, Ricky, where you can click your player and add to list.
They put it here. So you see it here on the side.
Okay.
So obviously it used to be up here and it was really clean and you could actually see them in a squad. It looked visually more pleasing. Now you have to click list and then you can go, right, okay, so I've got my Champions League guys, for instance. And then it filters them. It's just an additional filter.
Right.
Takes a while to go.
Well, so, at least it's still somewhere. I didn't realise they put it on the left there. So at least you can still access them. I thought you couldn't even access them now.
My only issue with it, and maybe I'm checked fully, but I don't think you can reorder the cards, which sounds silly, but I like to visually have my goalkeeper first, my defender, my midfielder, my forward, and I can spot my gaps as well.
No, yeah, I get what you mean.
Maybe that's just me.
I guess you can sort of filter within that to just show goalkeepers, but you can't actually arrange them in a certain way.
It's just fucking around, though, isn't it? Rather than having a visual of like your squad. But anyway, a big thumbs down from me. What do you reckon?
It's kind of something that didn't need. I don't know why it needed changing. Maybe what was wrong with it?
No idea.
I think it's fucking terrible. Really pissed me off. I will die on this hill. Bring back squads. Why? What was the need to take it away? I know it has no relevant importance to the game, but I liked it. I liked having my level 20 guys there. I liked having my first editions there. I liked having my serial matches, my constant old players. It was fun to put them in squads. Oh, I got a new first edition. I put it in there. It was fun. I liked the visual reputation. I liked it was under Hall of Fame. So you're like, here's my best 5 players. Here's all my squads. Why? Why just change them into shitty filters that no one cares about? Are
we turning into grumpy old men that don't like change? I think we might officially be.
Yes, and I'm embracing it.
I pretty much liked all the changes they've done recently, but I don't know why they had to do it to my boys' squads. I liked it. I just liked it. There's no need.
Plus, you've got about 1 billion first editions and special editions, so especially for you, where you've got 1 million things to organise.
Yeah, exactly. I just liked it. I don't know why they need to do it, but hopefully it comes back there comes some way to showcase your collections or your favourite things more than just the Hall of Fame. Because I don't want them as filters. I don't care.
Mate, given all positive changes, I'm thinking that they're going to surprise us and the update's going to be great and we'll go, now I get it. At least that's my hope anyway.
But I would just like them to say there'll be something better coming. Don't worry. Rather than,
There does seem to have been quite a lot of negative feedback about it, to be fair. And they are reasonably okay at reacting to feedback. They're quite good. They do make mistakes, granted, but they do actually try and fix things. I just think the way they just did it randomly without telling people was a bit sus.
Yeah, just couldn't find your squad, could you?
But maybe they didn't
just
realize. Maybe they didn't realize quite how much people liked them. Maybe they just thought, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they made a lot of good gameplay and, you know, quality of life changes. This really doesn't actually impact the SO5 or anything important in that way, or like your gallery value, but it's just,
I'm sure
people like to show off their stuff. They like to show off their stuff, don't they? And
I'm sure once they see that Ricky especially is very upset, because obviously he's a massive whale now. Like they'll fix that. I mean, he's bought 3 special edition cards for like £500 today. Like, got to do what you say.
yeah.
There you go. Right, and final point. So we are going to move on to collections has been a big thing, as you both have sort of alluded to, and now there's I guess an additional bonus with collections that once you hit a certain point within your collection, you can unlock a badge. So on screen now, I've got United. I'm not quite aware of these 2 boys, but I've started to work my way through a United rare team. And as you can see, once you hit that sort of 300 mark, you then unlock the badge. So I don't know, John, I'm guessing you've got Everton. Rick, have you got any of these?
I have. I can show you mine if you'd like. As I am first on the list.
Mr. Everton.
What I was actually surprised about there is you only have to get to 300 for Man United, but you have to get to 400 for Everton. And so is that because Man United are a bigger team? It probably is that exact reason.
It's probably based on value, isn't it? So they get you to spend more money.
Yeah, you got to spend more than 20p to get a player from Man United, unlike your docile club.
But no, I think it's cool. Obviously, I got Bologna as well, which is nice. One thing I did bring up on Twitter actually, on the Twitter post that Sarah did, was it'd be nice to have an option to display more than one at any one time. Because I'd quite like obviously I don't expect you to be able to display like 10, because that's probably mad. But like I'd like to have like Everton, Bologna, and my OG badge all on the, which I don't think is that much of an issue. Like not that much of an issue for their formatting or whatever process, but yeah, we'll see.
Nice.
I don't really care because I'm in Sorare Burger Club, so my logo will be Burger forever. Burgers for life. Fuck all the other badges. So
explain that concept. I saw Laird started that, didn't he? And then, but what does it actually mean?
Well, this is a very exclusive club. If you picked the burger logo and purchased it back in the day when they first had the shop updates, you know, you're part of an exclusive club and you can no longer get the burger. So everyone that now regrets the decision can no longer be in the burger club. So it is a closed shop for all the cool cats that originally got in. So I've got no interest. I have unlocked the San Jose Earthquakes badge. But, you know, it's a nice little touch, you know, getting more things. The customization and skins and badges and, you know, having like a custom look to your gallery and portfolio, all of that stuff should roll out more of anyway. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I think they should. I don't like how they don't have it for old versions though. Like collect this year's. No, but if you collect this year's Consadole and get to however many points, you get a badge. Collect last year's, collect all 30 of them or whatever, you don't get anything.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's only the current season. And I think they go, right, when the new season is released. So when they release the next set of Everton cards, Johnny will no longer have the Everton badge.
They posted that that doesn't go, I think.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it's if you sell them. So you unlock the badge.
Yeah.
And then if John decided to sell his Everton stack, so he lost that power, he wouldn't lose his badge if he was equipped with it on screen. But the moment he didn't put it on screen, you lose it. So the fact you're sticking with your burger, if you decide to sell up your San Jose, for instance, then you will lose your San Jose badge unless you're using it instead of the burger.
I wonder if you were to get rid of your burger now and to replace it, you then wouldn't be able to put it back on again.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
Oh my god, have you just done it?
Straight in there. No
you've
nonsense.
you've just got rid of your burger. Oh no.
No, mate. Burger forever. I already knew that was the case because when I set up our private league, I thought you could equip the logo. So I accidentally equipped a different logo and it's to the profile, not the league. So I already knew I wouldn't lose it. But so if an Everton release the next season cards, they come out and there's a new season collection, do you keep the Everton badge?
But I think
what season one.
I keep it, but if I was to get rid of it and replace it, I wouldn't be able to get it back again.
Until you collected the new season cards.
Collected all the new season cards. I think that's what the announcement was.
Yeah,
that would be fair.
And I think that's just because they don't have the ability to take it off you once you've equipped it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see myself getting rid of my Everton. Oh Jesus!
Hi Jenny.
That's just me stepping on the dog's foot.
That makes sense. Otherwise, it'd be really unfair if, like, everyone that collects it this season gets a badge forever, and everyone who collected previous seasons got nothing. So, yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay,
cool. Perfecto. Right. I think that's it. That's it for the ramble. We've rambled on long enough. Next stop is to the main topic, SOS Restructure Kherb88. So let's get this one on screen to start off with. Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. So Kherb88. Let's have a look at what's going on here. So in terms of current roster value, in fiat, £299, 0.2 in ETH. Do you want to hazard a guess? You boys got any idea what the original investment was?
Quadruple that.
A lot more than that.
Yeah, give me a rough number.
I'm going to go
£1,200.
Yeah, I'll go 1,500.
Yeah, is it initial investment or value 1,365? So
is that like pure deposits there, or is that like a little bit of?
That was value of players bought, because he's bought players at auction generally.
That's not great.
So, no, it's actually it's £1,066 down as it stands, and that's from May 2022. So obviously we saw the slide, didn't we? We had the World Cup when did the actual slide really happen? I can't remember now, top of my head, but.
Try to move that scar from my memory. So.
Yeah. Anyway, he's got stung by the slide, but I think there's probably more to it than that. So he's only won 7 rewards during that period. So, that's over a year now. 7 rewards, 0.01. And if you dig into it, it's just because he hasn't actually been setting his lineups consistently. So thought we'd then have a little look at kind of the cards he has in his gallery. So if we do it by players, probably easiest. We work our way through.
It's got a Jordan Pickford common card. That's invaluable.
Invaluable. So if we start with the goalkeeper, I thought we'd start for the keepers, have a little look, then defenders, midfielders, forwards, and then general thoughts on what you would do with that team if you were in that position. Because again, Kherb88 is at the point of where he's gone, right, not kind of put enough into this in terms of my time. I've invested, I've lost, tempted just to sell up, and kind of that conversation with there. I said, do you want to have a look at the gallery first and see if you can actually do anything with it? And that's kind of the intent of today. So starting with keepers, he's got Lee Bum-Soo, who doesn't play.
No.
So these are the buy price as well in the middle. So you see, he bought at £20, worth £1 now. Cone Bucker, likewise, he used to play. He's not playing at the minute. £20. Talavera, I actually don't know if he plays or not anymore. It suggests he has been. He's the old.
He does play. He's just really fucking old.
He's just joined a new. He's just joined a new team.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Bad.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's going in as the old boy who may be there for experience and then coaching. Leads me to think that you're not going to recoup that £62 again. And maybe actually selling at 11 would be smart. I don't know. Rodrigo Ray, good goalie, I would say. Don't you boys think? Good goalie for £34, not a good goalie for 156, but utility in him. And then you got Emmings, who is his referral reward. Rare keeper. Know nothing about this guy. Do you boys know him? He's from Asia.
I know of him, but I don't think he's up to much.
No. So again, maybe take the £15 to £20. Don't know. Claudio Ramos, backup keeper at Porto. Don't know why he's 23 quid seems reasonable. Oh, he paid 23. He's 13 quid. Again, would you take that? Would you take the money?
I think he's probably because, well, from my brief bit of research earlier, I saw that he's signing new contracts, which implies that if they do sell Diogo Costa, which is a semi-likely,
isn't it?
Yeah. Then he'll be kept on as number one potentially.
Well, then maybe that's quite a handy card to have then.
It might be quite a handy card to have, but also I personally might consider just taking that money, and because you can actually get like 2 starting keepers for that money. Like they might be League 2 in France or something, but they'll still start. So rather than taking the gamble, like if he does actually get number one at Porto, like he'll probably double in price there. But if he doesn't and they keep Diogo Costa, considering Diogo Costa's like what, 21, 22, like he doesn't necessarily have to leave, does he? He's got his whole flipping life ahead of him. So
there you go.
His whole life ahead of him.
Well, he has, like he could stay there for like 4 years and still leave for like £75 million in 4 years' time. Like, you know, keeper's longevity is ridiculous.
The last one, Seo Ju Juan. Again, no idea to him. Don't know if you boys do. Ulsan keeper, if he's still there.
It's the same keeper as the rare one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm on it tonight. Defenders. Who have we got in your defence? So, I mean, the first thing I'd say about those keepers, struck me anyway, is they are from here, there, and everywhere, right? You got Korea, you've got my code book has gone, it might be in Germany. You've got Mexico, you got America, Portugal, all over the shop. I guess it doesn't matter so much for a keeper. Defenders, who have we got here? Mendes seems to score well, not worth a lot of money, doesn't play all the time. Meluso, I've heard a lot of people talk about Meluso being quite a handy player, but similar sort of situation. Brody, Lihan Bum, Reyes, Caver, Brown. Araujo's all right.
Lihan Bum's a very good player. I recently picked him up myself.
Is he? Seems to score well. Yeah.
Yeah, very good player. Under 23 as well, isn't he? So holds that little bit of extra spice in his price.
I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but those types of players, when you're looking at a restructure, do you hold on to them or do you sell them for the? Because again, he's paid 47 for him at a bad time, but in quid.
Possibly looking at his entire squad, he's got enough decent-ish players that he could keep probably 5 or 6 to form like a decent all-star limited squad, and then still sell, 4 or 5 of the good ones too, and probably make enough money to maybe try and get into the rare market a tad. It could be something where he gets enough rare players to do a cap 220 with another cheap limited goalkeeper, just to try and get into that market a little bit. And maybe if he wins a couple of prizes in cap 220, he can get enough money to try and buy a rare keeper, because you can get a rare keeper, as we've discussed, for around sort of 0.075 to 0.1, which isn't mega bucks really. Like you're looking at what, 100 to 150 pounds roughly.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? At all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a time when there was no chance of ever doing that, wasn't there? So
exactly,
there's ever time to get away with it. He's got the goat, Fook, Nico Ovidi.
The goat that's been put out to pasture at the moment, though. That's the problem.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And then, like the goalkeepers, just spread all over the shop. So you've got pretty much most of the leagues or divs available. But again, admittedly, he hasn't really watched the market or the cards. There's a lot of players here that don't play, won't play, out of form, moved. So again, the decision comes: do you take the hit? Do you take the hit with them so you can reinvest, or do you pop that? Do you actually just wait and patiently sell them one by one?
Who was the double River Plate defender he had then? Sorry, I missed it. He's got two of the same defender. From I think it was River Plate. Yeah,
Elias Gomez.
So he's wow. Okay, that's a fall from grace. I was going to say if they're at least worth a tenner, he could sell one of them. But Christ, why was he so expensive?
It's crazy looking at the prices that the market were and like how that was deemed as like normal or acceptable. I mean, I'm not saying that they were sensible prices to pay, but Kherb wouldn't have been the only person paying those prices at that point in time.
I mean, £1.21, you know, you can actually get reasonably decent limiteds for that these days, but that's still like that doesn't correlate that price to what he paid there. Like you'd expect that price to maybe go down to about £5 or £6 with the drop, not to £1. So that implies like he's completely lost his place or moved teams or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's annoying.
It's tricky, isn't it? The hardest thing about any restructure is like getting past that psychological barrier of going 29 quid spent, he's worth £1.18. Yeah, I could buy someone for 118, but I've like lost all that money. But I guess you have to look at it like the whole market, or if you can find someone within the market who's also dropped in price, you know, maybe not to that level, but it's just getting over that psychological barrier, isn't it? It's difficult.
Yeah, it's tricky. That's why I never sell.
Well, it's true. Never sell, never lose, right?
I did a little Twitter post the other day about a player I bought for a fuckload of money who's now worth absolute piss, because he is piss. But a load of people sent me back, you know, all these ridiculously high limited purchases that they'd made. And it can be really hard to get into your head. Like, I spent that much, I can't let them go. But they're doing fuck all for your portfolio, and everyone else has dropped to the same level. So it's all relative. You know, if you're trading in and out, then it you know, it's all relative. So, but yeah, I get it all the time. I've got some really high players that I just won't shift because it hurts too bad that I spent like 150 quid on them, and I can get 75p.
It's actually like galling, isn't it, to see the prices? Like if you're buying with ETH that you've won, then I guess you're not actually like depositing from your bank account the 300 quid or whatever. You're just, but the thought that you could have withdrawn that and got £300 is just as annoying, really. I bought an Immobile Limited for £300, and he's worth like 20 quid now.
Yeah, we've all done it. I overpaid on Carlos Heel, even though he's amazing. I paid 250 for him. God knows what he's worth now. Elias Gomez, can you see him on screen right now?
Yeah,
I can.
So it could be worse. You could have paid £2,714 for him.
was that Ricky? Was that Ricky by any chance?
That is outrageous, isn't it?
Okay, that's definitely money laundering or a complete fuck up.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I know why it ruins the charts on Sorare data as well. They've got no thought for Sorare data's charts looking nice, have they? I mean, I know I fucked up Lucas Fernandez's one, but that was by accident. I wasn't laundering any money at the time, apart from laundering out my own bank account into Sorares.
What a story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to actually have some money to be able to launder to do money laundering.
I think we definitely due a fuck up episode soon where everyone sends in their fuck ups and we review them.
That could be about 4 hours long, I reckon.
Give a prize to what we judge as the best fuck up. I think that would make some interesting.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
It would have to be you buying Lucas Fernandez for 90 quid, though, mate. I'll be honest.
I think I could probably rival it with a couple of other ones in my portfolio. Actually, I found them the other day, but we'll save that for another time.
I reckon it can be beaten. I've got faith. Right, anyway, on to the midfielders. Have a little look. So he's got Tristan Muyamba, who actually I think I saw today he's moving to the MLS. Don't know if that's good or bad, but a few quid there if you want to get a little sale in. I know he plays French Div 2 and is actually not a bad player. Then there's a lot more people like this. I have no idea. Almost 40 quid. Oh, what's going on?
So Anthony Nwakeme plays in Saudi Arabia.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he was like elite at Trabzonspor when he was there, and then he just left. He is getting on a bit now. But if Saudi Arabia do join the leagues, he could be worth a bit of money. So those two figures to the right of the figure he paid. Which one's which? So floors.
No, the middle's what he
last sale.
Yeah.
So okay, fine.
So realistically, you're shifting from centre to left.
Yeah. So I was going to say, so floor price is kind of irrelevant, really, because it's just whatever the lowest person's got on. It could be anything.
I remember when that Anthony Nwakeme had those special edition champion cards or whatever came out. I bought one of them, and then he instantly got released or fucked off somewhere. That was a fun day.
Who else we got? Aldo Rocha, who's not bad. He's actually quite a good scorer. Probably could play him. I noticed a few Atlas actually in his gallery. He's got a couple of defenders from Atlas. Bryce Duke got his moved in. He's actually been all right since.
Bruce Dyke, I think you mean.
Bruce Dyke, sorry. In fact, all three of these guys aren't bad. 44 even.
Etienne Junior bagged for Haiti.
That's true.
For
What's this guy like, chap? Do you know Watanabe?
I actually own his rare Watanabe. He's actually decent. I remember he had a really good run a few weeks ago where he scored a couple, got an assist. Like he had a really nice last 5 green. And I went to go see what his price was. Like, I'll cash in on him now whilst he's scoring well. And he was still only like £20. I was like, I'll just keep him. But like, I think he's actually a decent scorer, and you know, someone you could definitely still use in a Cap 220 or Cap 240 team, because he is quite sort of like 80 or 25, so he kind of averages out at a decent sort of level for. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably keep him, and if he was going to rebuild, then put him in there.
I don't know. If you got limited players, you'll be fucking around with the J League. You know, fucking around with the J and the K League.
That is also true.
Fuck around, find out. You know, not ideal.
Especially at that price, right? If you can get 28 quid for a rare, I think I saw you got 2 or 3 rares, and I'm pretty sure they're all K or J League. My feeling would be shift them out and focus on something specific. You know, again, a bit like you, Rick. Where you put your money.
Well, yeah. On the flip, you could say that focusing on Asia is where you're going to be able to get a cheap squad that could play, although you might have less knowledge. But then, is that what you want to be focusing on now, or do you want to start focusing back on Challenger and something like that to, you know, look ahead with limited resources?
Yeah. Second division Europe, maybe go. You know, something that we could follow a bit better in England. Obviously, you could put a little Coventry stack together, or.
Well, second division France, second division Germany. You know, there's absolute bargains everywhere around there because they're just not household names.
Yeah, the thing you mentioned Challenger. The problem with Challenger, for example, is everyone's shifting onto it already. It's like the market's suddenly gone. We're prepping for Europe already because the prices have all gone up, haven't they? And Challenger in particular, they got like the Belgium League, a couple of other leagues that come back first. So,
yeah, well, I would be aiming for the second division clubs, or Austria or Scotland is what I'm aiming at. I'm not aiming for any of the first ones, mate.
I still think second division players are massively undervalued, like have been since they came on board. Because although the actual second division prizes you can win if you put them in the second division leagues are low, but I think people almost forget that you can use those cards in All-Star. Like you could just get somebody that's absolutely elite that plays for a mid-table German Bundesliga 2 team, and they're going to get you the same scores as someone that would cost you 250 quid in Champion Europe. And like, you know, they're still good value. Like same with limited and rare from like second division, really are good value. So that definitely could be something you could look at.
I keep winning second division prizes, and then I go to sell them, see they've got ridiculously good scores, and then I can't sell them because the price is too short, and they're worth a lot more than. Yeah, there's bargains everywhere. There's bargains everywhere, and that's like this guy. This is the one I won last week. I've been trying to sell him, but look at his scores.
Oh, that's tasty. Yeah,
like he sticks those up, and that was like his last sale price was 45 quid. But
where's he play?
He's a defender for this German second division team. But there's lots and lots of good bargains around in that division.
You could literally see that scoring chart for someone who played for like Newcastle or something. Think, oh, he's great value at 95 quid, couldn't you? Or something like that. And actually, he's 45 quid.
You've just never heard of him.
You can convince yourself to pay like 500 quid for Martinez at United if he's hitting those scores every week. Like, it's ridiculous.
It just proves how much the price is just genuinely like big name, like names rather than actual scoring ability.
But then I always think with that, you have to think about
the resale value.
Exactly, yeah. Like the market demand will be on those players still, and if, as we all want, it actually does grow, and it's because it's not boomed. If at some point the platform ever did boom and had legitimate, like, real heavy onboarding, like those are the players. Suddenly, people want United players, people want Liverpool players. They may even want Everton players. Like second div Germany comes later. It will still come at some point, but then if you're an ROI player and just want to make money, second div all day, 100%.
Republic of Ireland.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Right, strikers. this Kinome sticks out, doesn't he? His price, like he's actually worth more now than he was before. I think it's probably the only player I've seen that is.
He's actually a good player, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's solid. And again, Atlas stack. He's got 2 strikers from Atlas, 2 midfielders from Atlas, 2 defenders from Atlas. So on my initial look was like, actually, you could potentially just reinvest in the Atlas keeper, for instance, and you got yourself a stack at least. And they're a half decent team, aren't they? And they play across the summer.
And they're about to start the league again, aren't they? This weekend.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know much about Santana. Lester's all right.
I mean,
average.
Is it Quinones or whatever? I don't know how you say his name, but like, are his scores actually that much greater than Julio Furch's? Because Julio Furch starts. I know Furch had an injury a little bit last season, but like, I'd be tempted to cash in that 30 quid on Julian Quinones, to be honest with you, considering you've got Furch. You could buy
a little luxury.
You could buy a couple of keepers. You could even get like a pretty decent rare card for 30 quid right now.
It's fairly solid scores, isn't it? Especially if you're going from.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good score.
Hits hundreds as well. But I mean, he's getting goals. He's getting decisive, isn't he, to do it?
That is looking pretty sexy, to be fair.
Yeah. Likes yellow.
Probably keep him, actually.
Yeah, and he's obviously a lot younger than Julio. But I mean, it is a shout. I mean, again, if you're restructuring, you have to consider he's only got a certain amount of assets that he could actually sell off to get like decent-ish money to restructure. So kind of maybe you have to take the hit on some decent players like that.
When you've got like a smaller gallery, you've got to be careful you don't spread your ETH or money too thinly. Like sometimes when it's that small, you need to just really focus on having like a really good squad of about 8 or 9 really decent scorers that you can put in All-Star. Because that one or two prizes you might win in All-Star, which would be a tier 2, tier 3 maybe, will be worth 6 times the small ETH threshold almost. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of, you get your return on investment after 1 week rather than 6 weeks. Something to think about, isn't it? Because he does seem to have spread himself quite thinly across a lot of different areas, and yeah, I'm not sure that was quite ideal, but I don't know.
Scattergun is the term that's used, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's what it is.
So anyway, we touched on the gallery a little bit in terms of what he's got. Question is, what would you boys do in his position? I mean, in fact, let's start with what went wrong. I think we kind of know, but why do you think he's in this position?
Well,
come on, John.
Unfortunately, he came onto the platform at the time where the prices were a little bit higher and has suffered from the boom. So that is just unfortunate in a way. He probably wouldn't have lost half the money in value as he has currently lost if he just bought like maybe 6 months prior or 6 months after. He just was a little bit unlucky. But my tip would be to sort of sell 50%, maybe 50 to 60% of the players that have some value, and then invest it in 5 or 6 really good players. Limited wise, he needs another keeper. He's got a couple of keepers there that are starting. Well, definitely one in Rodrigo Ray. I know he's moved teams. I think he's gone to Independiente. But he definitely needs another goalkeeper. But yeah, mine would be restructure, get down to a solid squad of sort of 8 to 12 players, and that means he only has to do one or 2 teams a week. Try and win a couple of cards, and then go from there.
Yeah, I like that thinking, mate. Rick, what do you think's gone wrong, and what your initial thoughts, top line?
Yeah, I've been feverishly working away in the background trying to figure out what I could do with the budget while you two had a chinwag. Well, yeah, he's bought in heavily into limited, and then the limited market's fallen out of his ass. So that's what's gone wrong, and he's stopped paying attention to it. So his gallery hasn't evolved with the changes on the platform, which is, the main problem. What I would do is you need to win ETH, right? That's yellow ETH is now an option, so at least he can start getting a return on investment out of his cards. But I would also be wanting to get into that sweet rare ETH. So I was having a look at his squad, and where is my share? I think it's disappeared. Let's try. Is this the one? Bear with me, caller. There it is.
There you
Right
go.
back. So yeah, I'd probably keep Talavera playing for Sorares. I'm aiming at short-term limited ETH wins would be my first aim. I was playing around with his Atlas boys, so I'd probably keep Quinones as like his headline marquee star, and then you've got Reyes, who I've put in twice because he's got his 1 of 1,000. Oh, they're not 1 of 1,000. I mean, this is just that I put them in. But he's got Rocker, Jeremy Marquez. So there's
Julio Furch.
Julio Furch. I think Furch was the one I'd put in here. So yeah, I would be keeping Furch, keeping Quinones, keeping all the Atlas boys together, Rocker, Marquez, as like my core with that old man goalie, with the intention of, as this league's just coming back, see when you start stacking the Atlas boys together, you could have had 3 rewards, 6 game weeks, so they've all played together. Souza's in Mexico, the goalie's in Mexico. So yeah, I'd be keeping like that core 8. He's got some more Mexican players in there as well, which I don't really know. So you could probably have a look into those and pick out a couple more cheap gems to fill out the squad. Maybe you could add in like John Mensah in the MLS, or Etienne Jr. Cheap and does a few bits. Lee Hanbum I'd be keeping as well. It's like a solid option, but I'd be aiming for that short-term summer ETH, and then you could probably sell off about 0.13 at a push if you sold everything else. So you've got your little squads to earn 5e, and then I was looking for goalies for around 0.0708. I mean, you could get Saguno, the legend from Consulate at the moment, but you're looking at a couple of Scottish goalies. Is probably outside of Korea. There's a couple of second division ones that are reasonably cheap, but probably Scotland, like a Walker or that other one in Marshall, Carson, something like that.
Is that Samuel Walker, mate? I'm not sure I've heard of him. Do you want to elaborate on Samuel Walker, maybe?
Yeah, you know my feelings about him. He's actually up for sale at the moment on my portfolio, but I was interested. So yeah, I'd get something like that, and then maybe leave yourself a 0.05. And if you hunt down Scotland, Austria, second division, you can get 5. You can probably get 5 players for that with a lot of research and a bit of haggling. You probably need 2 more than that because you need a squad to account for injuries and stuff. But yeah, he probably needs an extra 20, 30 quid from somewhere. But with that, you could probably get a strong 8-man rare team to head into the new seasons in the less love leagues, and then have this limited grind in Mexico for the time being. And I think his way out of this is to start yellow and red ETHing it, get those, try and snag a few rewards, and start cutting down on all that shit he's acquired. So that is my really long explanation of what I do.
I'd be kind of excited for the challenge of this, like trying to actually, the challenge to get back out of the red sort of thing. Like,
yeah,
it's
like a team that's been relegated is in financial ruin, trying to rise back up again.
Yeah, a long way to go, obviously, but definitely rare ETH threshold, like Ricky said, is a very good option, and it can offer such a good return on investment because you genuinely can put together a rare ETH team for like 250 quid and win 50 quid just like that.
Yeah,
it might not happen every week, but if you won 5 of them in say 4 months, like you've just doubled your money.
I expect there's some there's probably a couple of more decent low price gems in this collection that you could add in, that you could rotate for what I've just said, and actually add them in as different options. But at that level, if you left yourself with a strong 10, if you get on a roll and hit 2 or 3 in a row in those limited, that's going to start adding up really quickly. So,
and the odd prize as well, the odd sort of £5, £10 prize to go along with the threshold. Like, he does have enough decent players in there. I do think he needs a better goalkeeper, because that old guy has moved teams to, like, I think it's FC Juarez or something, who are also Mexican.
Yeah,
but,
he's been playing there though. Playing.
That's not for Juarez though. He's just moved before the season starts this weekend.
Talavera, wasn't he there on loan?
Oh, maybe. I don't know, but
here he is the boy. He's at Juarez, yeah. And his last performances were he must have been on loan there then.
Oh, fair enough then.
Because he's been playing there for.
I just personally wouldn't want to sort of bank my whole £5 on a 40-year-old goalkeeper. And if he's still worth like 11 quid, which he currently is, then you could actually buy a 28-year-old goalkeeper for the 11 quid.
But he does naturally harmonise with the rest of the things he's got at the moment.
Yeah, no. How much is an Atlas goalkeeper? Because, that's not
either way. The good thing about it is it takes you two ETH wins pretty much break even, or 3, and you've covered the cost of him. And again, then you could decide to shift out of him as well and take that price as well. Rick, out of interest, how much was the cost of that stack? Yeah, that stack, or Mexican stack. So I put together a bit of a team as well, and I was wondering if you could keep that and then add in the team I'm looking at.
Lineup floor price is 0.036.
Okay, so what's that in? Give me that in fiat right now.
Oh, mate.
Fiat.
I don't fuck around in fiat, mate. It's
Well, we're looking at a £299 budget, which obviously will be reduced slightly if selling it.
I don't know what that is. 50 something quid.
I'm having a look.
Okay, cool.
I actually don't know what ETH is at the moment.
So I'll show you my thoughts anyway. So I'm in agreement. I would use a bit of what he's got already to start grinding out ETH across the summer, but I would shift out the majority of Deadwood and just accept the hit. I would target Rare, and I would target Div 2, and I put together an example of what you could do in the Championship, Div 2. Taking a risk on Alex McCarthy at 78 quid was his recent sale, but he's already indicated he's leaving. I can't see him going anywhere else but the Championship. You never know. Cam Humphreys is super cheap. Get one for 15 quid. He plays every game, plays for Rotherham. Hugo can stack with him. He's at Rotherham as well. And at 46 quid for a striker that starts, to me, that seems dead cheap. McGrory's just been bought by Bristol City, 22 quid. He's going to come in and battle George Tanner at right back. He's already been told by Pearson he's coming in as a full back. He'll battle George Tanner at right back. He's also got utility as a midfielder. I am pretty confident he'll end up shifting Tanner out and becoming Bristol City's first choice right back, and he'll have lots of action. So I think that's dead cheap. And then Matty Godden, who is more of a risk at 20 quid, but he plays pretty shit. But the reason why I've gone for this stack is A, recently you could pick that up as cheap as 182 quid for 5 rares, and B, you've got the full utility to play that across all of the cap divisions. So if we're talking about trying to get your 240 ETH straight out of the bat, this team can play within that sort of league for quite a while, and you might not win it straight away all the time, but you've only got to hit a few wins and you've covered the cost. And if Alex Mack ends up starting, then you've got a decision of actually, do I just shift him out and get some money, some quick returns, or do I grind out that ETH? So I would go for a cheap Div 2 rare team, and then I would spread my chips, maybe a few more rares to back up, and then spread the rest of chips across the limiteds for the summer for now, and then shift them out as we progress towards the new season.
I wouldn't be spreading chips in front of me and Johnny, mate. We bit of the loose waistlines nowadays. Wouldn't last long.
What do you think of that team? Is that too risky? Is it?
I mean, it's a little risky with McCarthy, but I think you're gonna have to take a little bit of a risk at the prices we're talking. But yeah, I mean, I own a Cameron Humphreys myself. I think he is good value. He's a banker to start. Rotherham are usually favourites to get relegated every season from the Championship, but they did okay last year and weren't really ever in too much doubt to go down. I mean, they all look solid players. What we were saying earlier was, I'd go for the Championship personally. I'd at least go second division, but Championship, I think, because obviously we're in England and actually you can research players a lot easier, like team news. Like obviously you boys at Bristol City, so like there's always that little bit of interest in the Championship. And the value, like 15 quid for Cameron Humphreys, who is actually pretty decent. I don't know much about Ross McCrory apart from obviously he's joined Bristol City.
He's a good player, and he will end up starting.
Was he fullback at Aberdeen then? Was he? What's the fullback?
They played centre mid, and fullback. He's like a utility player, but he's got a good engine on him.
Yeah.
But Pearson's already earmarked him as a fullback. That's where he wants him to play.
Matty Godden should play. You'd think what with Gyökeres leaving, but I worry for Coventry next season. They've almost like put all their eggs in one basket to try and get promoted this year, and like Gyökeres is 100% leaving, and then they're probably going to sell Gustavo Hamer as well, I reckon. So they could really struggle next year, but he's going to play, and he's priced accordingly at 20 quid. So and then Hugo, don't know a huge amount about him, but he's on loan at Rotherham. Did you say?
Yeah, he's on loan at Rotherham. Historically he's actually had hot streaks in Championship. He got a big transfer to. I can't remember where he started off. I think a big transfer to West Ham.
Was he West Ham? He was, wasn't he?
Yeah, and it didn't work out. But he's had quite a few injuries, and he dropped back down. He was then at Norwich, and then has been on loan to Rotherham. So and they've had Neil Warnock there, so it's not like he's going to be getting big scores. But my thinking with this is 4 wins and you cover the cost of the whole team.
And also, you could genuinely, with the exception of maybe McCarthy there, you could sub in any players into those 4 outfield positions there from a lot of different teams, and they'd still do the same job. There's just such good value down in the Championship and Div 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's more fun if you've got limited interest. I suppose the Championship's a fun league to follow. But when you've got the lineup builder on Sorare data now, and you can sub like them that play sharp, you don't really need to do any research because the community does it for you. So I would be going Div 2s around Europe because I think there's bargains everywhere there. But yeah, Div 2s, solid way to go. I think it is there to trim down to a limited squad and go up into a ETH grinding squad for the upcoming season. You just got to be very careful about researching those rare buys. You can't afford to get them wrong, can you? So, that's the important bit of that. So
we're looking at I think we're all in agreement. Complete restructure, shifting out maybe 200 quid's worth into rares or upgrading those limiteds to proper decent team, and then focusing on trying to get the ETH through the door. Potentially playing a bit of a waiting game, but not giving up, and obviously picking divs that have value, and teams and divs that you can follow. So rather than spreading right across the board and having loads of teams, stay a bit more focused, like the Atlas stack or like specific in the Championship.
Well, gives you only one thing to sort of research, doesn't it? If you're just following a couple of teams,
it's quite easy there. Got a decent Mexican limited squad. And you could do a Div 2 or Scottish or whatever you decide, or Austrian, whatever you decide to do, rare, and then that's 2 things to focus on.
Well, we know someone who has already done something similar, right? With Bacon and Mbappe, who is just following. He's obviously not a football fanatic like we are, but wanted to play the game and just follows 4 or 5. What is it? 4 or 5 teams, one from every continent, pretty much. Doesn't have to worry too much about doing a lot of research or being glued to Twitter like we are all day. And he's won a few things, hasn't he? Like he's won he's won probably £150 worth of prizes. That's not to say his gallery value hasn't gone down because of the crash, but another key thing I would say for Kev to make it work is to definitely remember to do your teams. Because if you don't do your teams, you ain't going to win.
Got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, stacking goes very well when they get a good fixture and things go right for them, doesn't it? It's
it's just easier as well, an easier approach, isn't it? It's a lazier approach. Sometimes it's more costly, sometimes it's not. But yeah, I like it. Any more thoughts, boys, before we close it off?
No more thoughts, Judge?
No more thoughts.
Well, there you go. Kherb88. I hope that helped somewhat in terms of your thinking. Anyone listening on this, we'd love to hear your comments. What would you do in this instance? Would you restructure? Who would you hold? Which leagues would you target? Are we chatting shite? Probably.
What would you do? Get off my feet and stop making tired excuses. That's what I do.
That's great, mate.
Cheers, mate. Before we finish, we need to get the spinny wheel on the screen because we had another five-a-side this week for the mighty FC Sorare, which resulted in a resounding 8-5 victory. The competition this week was for our boy Ollie Laraz Limited. Very, very lucky whoever wins this one. We're big fans of Ollie. And the winner had to predict who would get MOM, as in man of the match, during the game. Man of the match with, was it 4 goals and assists? I think it was.
I mean,
very own. Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. Although my score of 75 would hugely not reflect that massive performance that I put in.
Yeah, but you did have about 15 big chance missed, and you did have 2 errors leading to goal. So
I don't know where you got 2 from. I definitely only had 1 error leading to goal.
I didn't even mark that against his score. I thought you were winding me up.
What do you mean? Where you tried to nutmeg someone on the end of our own box, gave it away, and they scored?
Yes. What was the other time?
Well, you've won now. I don't want to be bitter.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You could have scored even worse then.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, it was
I mean, to be fair, if anyone's lasted 1 hour and 12 minutes of this podcast to win an Ollie Laraz fucking limited, they bloody deserve it.
Ollie Laraz is for everyone. Anyway, spin the bloody wheel.
Let's spin the bloody wheel.
Make the wheel bigger. Oh my God, small wheel syndrome.
Good luck, chaps and chapettes.
Oh,
is it spinning?
Sablelord 03244794.
There we go.
He was on the live pod the other night. I'm pretty sure.
Nice. And also, if you deposit £20, you can play with £50. Let the games begin.
We've gone big time that we're now doing sponsorships.
There we go. Anyway, you've won.
Congratulations, Sablelord. You have won yourself an Ollie Laraz, who, mark our words, next season will be a big time. Anyway, lads, I've heard it many times. Before we finish, any plugs?
Yes, I've always got a plug or two. Sorare Sevens next month. This month? Next month. Tomorrow's the 1st, isn't it? Yeah. We're playing. Everyone should come and join. Come hang out with us afterwards. Have some beers. Play football with us, against us. Buy tickets. Come and see us. Search Sorare Sevens on Twitter because I like those guys. But also, our Beat the Boys League is the last game week of the month of this season, season 4. All to play for. There's a tight battle at the top, not involving Jesse, obviously.
Did I mention a team this week?
Oh, God. Next season starts next week. It'll be a short season with lots of midweeks. I think it covers 5 game weeks. I think we thought of earlier. Season 5 will be MLS Amateur again. There's the code on screen if you want to get in early. I really appreciate people that get in early. I like that keenness. I'll share the link on our Twitter and below. But yeah, come join us for the game week that starts next week. MLS again. And I have no more plugs. Just please like and subscribe because we really appreciate you all. Your faces are lovely.
Good man. Tornado, anything from you?
No, I just echo everything Ricky said there. It's always nice doing these Beat the Boys, and we like to give away free stuff. So, always keep in contact with our socials, and there may well be a 3-year anniversary giveaway coming people's way in the next few days. We will see.
Oh my God, babe.
Oh my God. But yeah.
Oh my God,
Can you believe we've all been on here for 3 years? Over 3 years? That's ridiculous.
Crazy. I feel like I've been on this show for about 3 years just now.
That's true. Back to the old ways. Right. On that note, Good luck, Kherb88, in whichever path you choose. Let's hope it's full of Ethereum.
The
Adios,
red pill or
chaps.
the blue pill. Viva la Thursday Club.
Up the
Viva la Thursday
toffees.
Club.
Up the toffees.